thinks the internet's not good. Misa thinks the internet is slow tonight. Hello, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and all those other places we stream to on a Wednesday night. I'm missing my compadre tonight. I'm missing my sidekick, which is okay. He's off doing his bits and pieces, which is more than okay because, we turn up here just to put a smile on our face and share some opportunities that we go through the week. Today, I'm actually really looking forward to bringing on the next guy, Hugh Maastricht, who is a really good friend of mine. Especially after an incident that happened today. If you saw me today, apparently I may have looked a little bit frustrated in the video, and that's okay. Right? That's sometimes you get frustrated when you're trying to work things out. We're trying to do things a little bit different. So, but tonight, without further ado, I'm going to bring on somebody who is a great supporter of the Business of Smiles. He's a really good mate, and just rather than just bring him on, Hugh Bagger, how are you, mate?
Oh, I'm bloody sensational, mate. How you going?
You're not bad for a young fella. It's bloody good to see your mug on here.
Well, someone's got to bring it on somewhere, don't they?
Oh, I love it. And look, and tonight's a really poignant night. But first things first, I've got to ask for something before we even get started because it's really important we start off with a giggle. So, have you got a dad joke for me?
Oh, I do, but I had to look one up. Because all of my dad jokes aren't really dad jokes. They're more inappropriate jokes. So I thought better be a little bit more prepared and come with one that's going to be a little bit more dad-centric. So what did the evil chicken lay?
What did the evil chicken lay?
Deviled eggs.
Oh,
it's bad.
That is bad.
It's bad. But when it comes to a dad joke, you've got to go with one that's going to be really bad. So that's just what it is.
No, I get it, right? It's a dad joke, right? So whenever I try to eat healthy, right, a chocolate bar looks at me and snickers. Oh, I'm so sorry. Actually, I'm not. I don't apologise for that. They're shockers. Look, feel free to send.
It was better than mine. So
feel free to actually send one in if you've got a good one, just so I can, practice and bring up some new material.
New material is always good.
Nah, giddy up. Well, tonight you're on for a purpose, right? And I really appreciate that. It's clearly not dad jokes because.
Look, I could be a comedian, but I don't think this would be the right environment for my comedy show. So the only place that I might end up being sort of sitting next to another comedian and it'd be appropriate would be like your Jim Jeffries or something like
Yeah,
that.
giddy up. Well, I don't mind with Jim Jeffries. He's a little bit politically incorrect, but that's what I love about it.
That would be me.
Yeah. Well, giddy up. Well, today I actually have a thank you to you. Today I witnessed a scenario which I'll share in a moment, and you saw that and you saw the frustration in me, and you picked up the phone and said, "Hey, how you doing?" Because that was a fairly raw moment in your life. I just wanted to check in and see how you're going, and I really value that because you're a part of a Safe Place to Land, the Monday nights where we have all the builders from around Australia sit down and have a yarn about all the good things in life and all the things that we need to make progress on. So I was really, really grateful for your phone call today. But before we dive into that, I just want to give a little bit of a scenario of what actually happened today. I had a beautiful morning, catching up with my B&I crew, and then through to catching up with a beautiful human by the name of Matthew Murray. Just a good man. And I've really enjoyed learning him and led into some beautiful conversations. And oh, good. I don't know who that is, but that's okay. So then we got. Sorry, there we go. I love throwing up the comments and throwing myself off by reading them. I hope you're okay now. Yeah, look, and I am. I really appreciate that because it's so. What actually happened was I was driving down Toorak Road, come back from the city. And every Friday I sit in the Bayside Community Kitchen. So I get to know a lot of the regulars and I get to know a lot of the guys that are doing a little bit tough. Anyway, I was driving past, I saw a guy in his undies and I recognised him. I'm like, okay, I'll pull over, go and have a look. And as I pull over, there's a building site there and they are giving him a fair bit of lip service. Clearly, in the middle of winter, if a man's in his undies, he's not in great condition. Yeah, so it may have triggered all my the unfairness in the world, and that was something that I couldn't really handle because I just know that that person was in pain. At this point, I just checked in with him to see if he's okay and try to make a decision on how best I can support him in that moment. The single best thing I could do was get him some clothes to keep him warm. So I have one jumper on me that I wear. That's my favorite jumper. And it's an expensive jumper. I don't want to replace it. And I'm looking at it going, do I give it to him? Worst case scenario, I would have. But I ran into the library and said to the science in the library, where's all your extras? Where's all your, you lost and found? We've got anything at all? No, nothing. Okay, cool. No stress. Running down Toorak Road, find an alterations place, run in there. So listen, have you got any clothes? Just anything at all? So the guy across the street. And this is where I'd gone from being so angry that people were taking the absolute mickey out of this bloke, especially construction workers who, we wear these, which I'll get into in a minute. Like really getting into it. And then I go into the alterations place and there's a Sparky working on the subboard. So, and as I'm talking to him, he goes, mate, just take my jumper. I'm like, what? He goes, just take my jumper. I've got more clothes in the car. I can see he's in trouble. Just put a jumper on him. And I just looked at him and like, from all that pain and anger from seeing that scenario to he's a human, right? No matter what happened, he's a human. To having that moment, it was a real conflict in me. And I just wanted to share that with the world and it was less about projecting the problem as to more trying to look at solutions. What do we need to do? That was where my frustration came through. What do we need to educate each other on? What do we need to learn about that scenario so that we can do things better as humans? How can we support humans as humans, And that's the thing I love. And then my good mate Hugh pops up. He goes, hey, mate, I just saw that. How can I support you? So, Hugh, firstly, thank you so much for doing that. Thank you so much for doing the 1%. But what made you do that?
What made me do that? Well, it really came down to actually knowing you and could see the frustration in your eyes at the time. And it was one of those things because I could see it. I'm like, I feel that there's a lot going on there, and he's sort of pulling himself up quite considerably. And if Scott's doing that, I think he needs to talk. So get onto him, give him a call, and find out what the bloody hell's going on.
And I love that.
Do an "Are you okay?" check-in.
And what a poignant thing, right? We're both wearing Trademutt shirts right now. And we're both massive advocates of Trademutt and the opportunities they support in the construction industry. But let's break down the conversation we actually had, because this is something for me that I loved, right? Because we spend every Monday night together, right? For 2 hours, we shoot the breeze about anything that's going on in life with other men. And we go from dealing with significant issues through to absolutely taking the mickey out of each other, through to guest speakers and growth corridors. And the thing for me that I love the most is that we actually know each other intimately. You could see my face and see my wheels going. So reaching out, like first thing you said to me is, what's going on? What are you doing right now? Yeah. And I'm like, why? I just saw your post. So share with us what your version of that is.
Well, obviously seeing the video and sort of listening to the tone of your voice, the level of, I guess you could say the tonal sounds that were going on there, because as you know, with me, people can talk to me and we can talk on the phone and all that sort of thing, but most of the time, most people are listening and they're not necessarily listening to the whole the whole lot of the communication that's actually going on. So for me, because I do pick up on subtle little cues that are going on with people, and whether it's something as simple as just the where they're looking, or whether they're using their hands to express themselves, or whether it's a smile on their face, whether they've got the little lines in their eyes sort of more accentuated, or a vein popping out of their head, or all the other things that come into body language and the other different types of communication. The words that are coming out, they're only a small percentage of that, and because I spend a lot of time when I was younger sort of reading people, sitting there listening, it was one of those things that I learned that skill of just picking up what's going on. And yeah, then that's exactly it, active listening. And yeah, it was one of those things. I was watching what was going on, and I'm like, I feel like Scott's going to explode. And if he explodes, that's not going to be a good thing. When any of us explode, it's not a good thing. And this guy that you're talking about, it sounded like he's on the brink of exploding himself, or something worse. And so when you stopped, I'm like, what's going on? I had to do that check-in just to see what was going on. And I mean, we were on the phone for maybe 15, 20 minutes. But how much did we unpack in that time?
Yeah, and that's the part that I really want to grab, right? Because we did unpack the scenario. We did unpack what needs to be done, because my frustration became, what's next? What do I need to do next? What do I need to bring into this conversation? And that's what I loved about what you did. You didn't call and go, how's it going? I see you're frustrated. Okay, so what do you want to do about it? Okay, you let me run through the scenarios, and then you ask better quality questions to see what we can do. You go, did you go to the building site to have a word to the guys that caused all the frustration? I'm like, oh God, no, I did not. Do I need to? You know, it brought up another question. Do I need to? And I looked at the time. I've got to get Oscar. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got all these opportunities, and I loved that questioning. I loved that bigger picture. I love the opportunity to really unpack it, because knowing me as you do, I genuinely care. I want to say something else then, but I genuinely care about people, you know, and if we can take an opportunity like that and educate people differently to respond differently, because this is what we unpacked, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we talked about the impact this gentleman had on everybody else going past, about the women, the elderly, the kids, that it's just about to come school time, right? If he's out there in his undies in front of heaps of school kids, how are they going to feel? Where are they going to feel safe? What are the you know, we can sit there and ridicule him, but he's not safe, so therefore other people aren't safe. You know,
what kind of scene does that create?
Correct, right? That's our community, and then the fear continues on. You know, and I really value that. I really value those questions. You know, and even to dig deeper, there's some stuff there that I'll reserve, because it's very personal and intimate, and I just. But the opportunity around how to deal with it, I think, is awesome. I just love that, mate. So I really value that. So thank you for that today.
You're more than welcome, mate.
Yeah. Well, I do want to dive into a little bit about you and about you've been an avid fan of the business of Smiles for quite some time. You wear these shirts, and you participate in some of our bits and pieces.
I've thrown out a few socks in my time.
You've thrown a couple here and there.
Get around with the backpack on, and away it goes.
Yeah, and so what has been your experience when you're out there and putting out a nice pair of socks into somebody's hands from your heart to their heart? What does that do for you, or what do you learn in those moments? I'm just going to throw this up there. Miss you, Scotty. Nice work, Hugh Bags. I'd love to know who that is, because I'm pretty sure that I'd love to give you a big hug, but that's all right. We'll find out after.
I think we might have a pretty good idea on who that could be.
We'll see how we go. We'll have it. I won't. I'll throw caution to the wind there. So what's that experience been for you?
Well, because we've done it on a number of different occasions, it's been a different experience each time. As you know, you go out there and you go out into the different environments, whether it's Frankston or whether it's like for you when you've done a few runs and you've been somewhere that's not your usual stomping ground.
Yeah.
One of the things that comes along with it is the different people that you do meet, and you do get resistance. You do get people that embrace it, and you get everything in between. And I think you learn more from the resistant people than you do from the people that are embracing it. Though you still get something from the people that are embracing it, but the ones that are like you just ask them for a second of their time, and they're like, no, I can't talk to you. I'm only offering a pair of socks. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I don't want to do anything like that. Just want to give you a pair of socks. One interesting thing, and this was one of those times where it was, for me personally, it was really something that I felt like that could really help for someone. Now, one of my daughter's sisters, now not my child, but one of my daughter's sisters, she's been battling, and she has been struggling, but I haven't tried to dive into anything with her at all. It's always been just be there. If she wants to talk and she wants to open up, she's more than welcome to at any time. But one of the things that I actually got to do with her was be able to gift her a pair of socks at the time, because she was struggling. And there'd been a couple of times before that where I just sort of reached out and just said, look, I'm here when you want, but just let you know that I'm thinking of you and I hope you're doing well. Just something as simple as a message like that. Now, because of the relationship that I do have with her, gifting her a pair of socks, it was completely unexpected for her. But she just got some tears in her eyes at the time because it was something unexpected. But it's those sorts of things every now and then that remind you that you can go and do that for other people. Mm. And it doesn't matter who they are. You can catch them at just the right time. And even those people that are resistant and they're like, no, stay away from me. You can sort of break through that barrier just with a pair of socks. I mean, how many other things in this world can you break through such resistance so easily with? And then be known around town as someone that's handing out just a pair of socks that's going to make you smile. It's one of those things. Like, there should be more of that sort of thing going on, but as we know, it's not front of mind for people. Just smiling isn't front of mind.
Yeah, and I didn't know that story, and I'm just so happy to hear that, because it strengthens relationships. It's a pair of socks that really does touch hearts and strengthen relationships, strengthens your heart, strengthens your communication skills. It gives you the opportunity to say to somebody, hey, I see you. I know it's not easy at the minute. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I just want you to know that I care and I'm here, and that's the thing I love about it. Like, it's like you've just, all being told, there's over 10,000 pairs of socks that have gone out. 10,000 pairs of socks, and 10,000 pairs of socks with a message that carries hope. It carries an opportunity to connect to a heart, carries the opportunity to have a conversation. And it's funny, we sit here in these shirts and the business of smiles. Why do I wear a trademark shirt? Why do you wear a trademark shirt? I'll ask you first, Hugh. Why do you wear a trademark shirt?
Well, trademark shirts are predominantly a conversation starter. And it says it right across the back. So it's one of those things, because it is bright, it is Larry. It gets people talking, and the amount of conversations that I've had wearing one of these shirts is phenomenal. Just walking down the street, going into a job site, talking with guys about what's going on. But it's there because it's about getting people to actually talk. Because not many people, especially in the construction industry, and we know what the rates of things like suicide, mental health issues and all that sort of thing are in the biggest employer in Australia. The biggest employer in Australia is construction work. So when it comes to it, there needed to be something that could actually make people stop and pay attention for, even if it is just for a minute. And these guys did a bang on job with it, and they're going and doing more things each day, and it's phenomenal what they do, and I completely support it, and I have from the first time that I saw a trademark shirt, and that was in Queensland, 5 years ago?
Yeah.
And it was from that point forward, it was just get a shirt, and then I was buying a shirt probably every 3 months. Because I'm like, starting to get a little bit tattered and it's a bit tight or shrinking because it's been through the wash a couple of times. But every Friday, wear the shirt and always end up in a couple of conversations with people, because it's talking about experiences and getting people to open up about what's actually going on for themselves, because it's not spoken about.
Yeah. And isn't that interesting, right? Because I wear it for exactly the same reason. The same reason I have a pair of socks. It's to start a conversation, right? And you never know where that conversation is going to go. It starts by taking the mickey, right? Nice socks, nice shirt. Hey, actually, thank you very much. This is a conversation starter, so it's done its job. Thank you very much. And once we start a conversation, who knows where they'll lead? Who knows what's going to be on the other side of that? We don't until we have that conversation. And we've just come away from Men's Health Week, which you probably really didn't hear a lot about. And I think
there wasn't that much about it.
I'm
surprised.
Yeah, and it's interesting because men's health, and when we look at men's health, I think we get a little bit lost in the fact that everything's mental health, but it's actually not. Men's health is health in general. Your physical health, your relationship health, your connection health. Like, there's so many levels to health, right? Just checking in with a mate, and it's so important. And it's been really interesting. Like, I'm going to get you to share just a fraction about what we're doing on Monday night, because it's not about that. But when we talk about men's health, when we talk about, like, Shorty and I turn up here every Wednesday night just to have a conversation. It's also a check-in, right? That people know we're on a Wednesday night. If they've got something they want to throw at us, throw it at us. I'm doing Tuesday nights with Daryl now, and they're going really well. But it's all about, it's just an opportunity to actually say, hey, I'm here. This is going on. We're lucky we have every Monday night. Since being a part of that, and we've been doing that for over 18 months now.
Yep.
What does it gift you to have a safe place to just talk without, and I want to grab that, because without any judgment, you can talk about anything, and and we do.
We do, and we have.
And we have.
Oh, so, yeah.
But what does that do for you?
Good question. I don't know if I can answer that appropriately at the moment.
Why is that?
Because it's a loaded question.
Mm.
And not in a bad way. It's in a completely good way, because I don't think that there's any limiting factor to what it actually brings. Because as you know, like I've been in therapy for the past 12, 13 years. And that's been a regular occurrence where I can get some help to talk about what's going on in my head and how I can manage that, and how I can manage the overwhelm that comes, and overwhelm comes in so many different shapes and forms, anxiety, depression, all these sorts of things, and where that can sort of take you, even down the road of feeling suicidal and everything as well. And it was all circumstantial. But being able to sit with a bunch of guys, and guys that are in the same line of work as I am, and we can all just talk about what's actually going on, what's affecting us, and whether it is something that's going on at home, whether it's something that's going on at work, whether it's something that's going on in friendship circle, or with a partner, or whatever it might be, whatever shenanigans we might be getting up to outside of work, at work, it doesn't really matter. It's just being able to sort of have that place where we don't feel like we're being judged. We don't feel like we've got somebody looking over our shoulder and saying, "Oh, I can't believe you do that, because that's pretty fucking silly." Oh, pardon the French. Didn't say that. Do pardon me for my bad language. Yes, I'm a builder, and I do have a tongue that's sometimes as bad as a sailor. I do try to rein that in a bit, but when it comes to what we do on a Monday night, yeah, we're doing that because we all care about each other. We all know each other. We know what's going on, and we're there for each other to make sure that what's going on is going to be okay. And even if someone does miss a week, okay, we might give them a bit of grief and say, "Do you know what you missed out on last week? Oh my god!" But this is mates banter, but it's not mates banter that you'd see from people down at the pub.
Yeah,
it's not mates banter that you'd see down at the footy oval. It's mates banter it's that, okay, well, if something's going wrong, if something's going right, we're going to talk about it. There's no holds barred. It's just the stuff that we can talk about that we don't normally get the chance to. And that's really what it is. It's being able to just have that mateship, but take it up to another level.
And that's what I love, Hugh. Like, and I love the men who are doing the personal development inside that, and have the courageous and brave conversations that are just openly honest about how they feel without, it takes practice to have them. It takes practice to grow into them. But the most important thing is that you need safety, and if it's one thing that, if I could wave a magic wand on society, I would just create safe places for people to go to actually have a conversation about the conversation they need to have, right? So that they could just go, blah. Okay, well, now it's out. I can see it in front of me. I can start to dissect it, and especially with people with experience in that place, because I think, and this statement here, thank you for sharing that you see a therapist, Hugh. Statements like that are what break down stigmas and normalize mental well-being. I appreciate that, Lisa, because it's so true. It's about putting our hands up and saying, hey, listen, I do this for me, so I'm better for the people that I turn up for. And one of the things that, you've worked with Mick Hawes, and you still work with Mick Hawes, and it's about the opportunities of you being the best version of you. So then that goes out into others, and having a place to actually break down our frustrations as well as our wins, because if we, I think that's something we don't do enough of in society is celebrate our wins.
Oh no, I don't think a lot of people do, and when just talking about the wins, and I'll just grab that there for a second. I'm going to do a you trick. I'm just going to grab it.
I'll just grab that.
Oh, grab it, give it here. When it comes to the wins and that sort of thing, yes, there's lots of places that like whether it's a coaching group or whether it's sports or anything like that, people are celebrating wins. They are celebrating wins, but they're very finite wins. They're not big picture wins. They've celebrated a game that's won, or they may have won or feel like they've won, but they've just been promoted, gotten a promotion or something like that. It's very finite. It's very, very short lived, but it's gratitude and celebrate and doing gratitude every single day. It's one of those things and for me, it's only really been a recent thing where I've actually sat down and given myself a gratitude diary, and every single day is spending literally a minute just going, what am I grateful for today? And that's given me a lot more sort of pep and spring in my step each morning to be able to just go, hey, even though everything might be imploding around me, and a lot of days it does, I'm not about to deny that it does, it implodes. The fact that I can every single day I can be grateful for at least one thing might be something as simple as just like, what was it, last week? I know that chatting with the boys on a Monday night, that was the thing I was grateful for on a Tuesday morning. And something as simple as that, it just sort of gives you that little bit. So it's a win every single day. And if we're not getting a win every single day, where are we sort of taking ourselves, and are we still heading down that road of anger or depression or anything like that? And I can certainly sort of run with that sensation because I've experienced it.
Yeah.
And having experienced it, I know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. It's probably a bad segue to go down light at the end of the tunnel, because it's when some of the things that we've discussed in the past, and especially with your dark days and that sort of thing, we don't want to be looking at life as though it's a tunnel. How much do you limit yourself with if it's just this little thing that's only this big, and you can't see what's going on over there, you can't see what's going on off the side, and you can't see an opportunity that might be right in your face, but it's literally just here on the other side of this tunnel. Sorry, I grabbed a little bit too hard.
No, it's good, because like I'm actually gonna grab the gratitude scenario. Like I could look at the frustration I've had today. I can have a look at how much that really got into my heart. That what are we doing to one another as humans? Why? And I was less about why that happened, as more to be a conversation about what do I need to learn here? What do I need to implement here that's going to make that scenario better for all of us? What do I need to do that? And then I'm listening to you now. I'll go through my day and look at my gratitude. I got up super early, went and trained, and got my booty cutie. Got up there and did F45 in the community. The music was pumping. I was pumping, and I felt good. I was tired, but big night last night. And I got there, got it done. Felt fantastic. Got in, went to BNI, which for me, my BNI group is just amazing. It's a group of people that are really passionate about each other. And the thing I've learned most about the people that I've already sat and had a one-on-one conversation with is their passion to be around other business owners to support one another. It's a lonely place running a business. and so when you've got one another in each other's corner, it's such a great place. Yes, there's the learning business skills. Yes, they're supporting each other's business. But the number one thing that I've taken away from that is just the beauty of having other business owners there who understand their pain, who understand their frustrations, who understand their scenarios. While I was there, a guy who I'd met before that I couldn't remember I'd met before, rolls up his pants and shows me a pair of Smilligan socks. And I'm going, whoa, how cool is that? He goes, I didn't even know you were here, but I wear these all the time because of the joy they bring to me. I'm like, wow, pair of socks, right? It's not about the socks. It's about the message. It's about the joy. It's about the connection. It's about the beauty, And then I ended up from there going into the city with another meeting from a pair of socks that led me into my gratitude for my life experiences right now that allowed me to have a conversation with a guy that needed to have a conversation, that needed to have a little bit of safety, that led to you calling me today because we've taken the time to really connect in life, to know how my brain's ticking, that I actually needed somewhere to go because I do a lot for others, but to have that because of what safety we've got, to the gratitude that I actually had dinner with my father tonight, and those who know a lot about me, that's been an interesting relationship for a very long time. Oscar and I went and had dinner with my father. Awesome. There's so much to be grateful for, even in the interesting scenarios, which is what we talk about a lot. So, yeah, so we're well over the half an hour, which is pretty easy for you and I to do. Let's be honest. We could sit here.
Half an hour. Well, we can fill that up in about 10 seconds, can't we?
Yeah, easy. So I've got a question for you, Hugh, because I really appreciate you coming on tonight, right?
Sure.
And one of the things for me, it's more of a statement, but it'll lead into a question, I'm sure. One of the things for me at the moment is you're hearing a lot of stuff about the building industry. You're hearing a lot of stuff about builders. And I am very, very grateful that I have builders with me who do a lot of personal development, who are all builders, well and truly in business, well and truly getting things done well. How does it feel to be a part of a supportive network of builders doing amazing things and being successful? Not that you'd think that any builders are at the moment, but there is.
Hey, look, there's lots of stories about builders not being successful. That's for sure. And there's, that the stories don't stop. And well, media certainly puts the wind up people when it comes to builders. Look, being involved with a group of people, it's reassuring because without that, we wouldn't be able to find and navigate a way, because as you said before, running a business is a lonely space if you don't have people around you doing what you're doing. And I was reminded of something earlier on today. I'm pretty sure that you've read this book. You would have read The Infinite Game by Simon.
Yes.
But it was interesting because you can like what I mentioned earlier about finite thinking, being once you sort of get your goal, then that's it. Then what? But if you've got the infinite thinking mindset, then what you can do is you can have people around you, but you're not competing with them, but they might be operating in the same space as you, but they might be a worthy rival, and you can better each other. And I love that, where it is being involved with Mick and the group gives us the opportunity to see what other guys are doing, but we're not competing with them. We're seeing what they are doing. Hey, cool. they've found something that works really well. Could we learn something from that? And then we get to have a conversation. Then we all get to share all this sort of thing going back and forth. And honestly, there's nothing better than that, because we're all lifting each other up to another level. And I'm not exactly the fastest learner in the world, so I've been doing it slowly, and I've done a lot of things slowly. I mean, I couldn't have gotten to 40 without learning a thing or 10, very slowly. And so, yeah, it's something that is good, and it's going to continue being good, and it's not something that I'm going to just sort of run out on quickly, because the value is there to be able to gain more with the group and with helping other people advance themselves. In turn, that advances us as well. And we don't feel like the dumbest person in the room. We don't feel like the smartest person in the room.
I need to wrap it up, but I'm not going to, because this is something that I love, right? Because I am very much of the mindset we together. I'm very much of the mindset that when we support each other, 1 + 1 = 3, and then we grow a new opportunity, right? So the winners of working together are the customers. The customers win because they get a much better experience. They have builders who have got support networks who actually grow much stronger, because they build the foundations deeper and wider, and because they've got the support to do that. Like it's a no-brainer for me. When the support is good, you can carry more, right? It's a pretty so where do you need the support? What do you need to do? Like today, a guy needed, it's just a jumper, but it wasn't just a jumper. It's a pair of socks, but it's not just a pair of socks. It's a conversation, but it's not just a conversation, and that's what I love. It's a picking up the phone and checking out how you are, but it's not just picking up the phone. It's the bigger picture stuff, and I just love that. So I'm gonna put a bit of a handbrake on it, actually, Hugh, because it's been a big emotional day, and I am so grateful for you coming on tonight. But more importantly, I'm so grateful for you picking up the phone today and just unpacking me. So, hey, Beryl, how are you, mate? Woo-hoo! Love Beryl. So, and it's something that I'm really grateful to have you in my life. Thank you so much for being you. And I can't wait to see what we do in the upcoming years ahead that we have. I am going to ask you for something, though.
Okay.
Before we go, just off the cuff. If you had one bit of advice to give somebody, you could only ever give one bit of advice, what would it be?
Don't ever give up. Don't throw your hands in the air.
Why?
Because everything that's going on is an opportunity to be able to learn something and better yourself.
Love it. Now, Hugh owns New Realm Homes in Melbourne in the eastern suburbs. If you and this is not a plug, this is just who he is and what he does. If you're looking for a builder who's that actually cares beyond just the building product, give me a yell. Even if you just need advice, he's a great man. So, yeah. All right. Well, on that, Hugh, thank you so much, mate. Thank you so much for filling in for Shorty. I'm pretty confident that, just seeing the comments that people have enjoyed tonight. So
you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Hope everybody's enjoyed it.
So, who knows? Might get some more trademark conversations going on in the future. So,
well, There's that, or I might even have to talk to you about something else. I had a thought go through my mind.
Oh, ouch! There we go.
Hold on, hold that thought.
Is that an opportunity?
That's an opportunity, right?
Hang on. Now, right there is a human that I think is amazing. That woman is absolutely beautiful. Shannon, it is beautiful to see your name pop up. I have that's put a smile on my dial. So thank you. So, all right. Well, on that note, thank you everybody who's watching. Have a fantastic week. We'll be back next week. Shorty will be back in deck. Oh, might be Shorty on his own. I'm going on a road trip. Ooh. I might be going through Sydney through to Brisbane. Sing out if you want to have a cup of tea with me.
You might get a couple out of that.
Come and have a cup of tea with me. Sydney to Brisbane. So right back at you.
Trip.
So get it up. So all right, so Sydney to Brisbane. If you want a cup of tea, sing out. We'll have a cup of tea with you. So on that, have a fantastic week. Thanks, you bags, and we will see you all soon. Now, my mouse isn't working. Lost connection.
Where's that button?
Helps that the mouse is working. I can't just press it somewhere. Hang on, wait.
Isn't that touchscreen?
Well, I don't know. We're going to find out. All right, we'll see how it goes. All right, where's that button? Right, hang on a sec. Wait, let's find out.